Hello everyone, welcome to the first part of special moves in chess. In this video, we shall try to understand the concept of castling. So a castling is a special move for king. It is the only move where the king can move up to 2 squares at a time. And at the same time, it is the only move where 2 pieces can move at the same time in a single move. Okay. So let us understand what is castling. So there is an example on your screen. We can see it is white to move, and we can see in this position, white can choose to castle. So what is a castle? In case of a castle, a king can choose to go to 2 squares on its right or left, and the rook on the side that the king is going can be placed in front of the king. Okay, so suppose white has choose to go to the g1 square, then the rook will come to the f1 square automatically in a single move. That is called a castling. So this is actually a kingside castling. Okay, so either it will be king to g1 and rook to f1, or it can be king to c1 and rook to d1. Okay, this is called a queenside castling. So a kingside castling is called a short castle, and a queenside castling is called a long castle. Okay. Now there are certain rules in order to perform the castling. There are 3 rules actually. So the first rule is the king cannot be under check. Okay. So if the king is under attack, you cannot choose to castle the king in order to protect it. The second one is the squares in between the king and the rook cannot be under attack. So suppose you are willing to castle kingside. In order to do that, the f1 square and the g1 square should not be under threat. If that happens, then you can choose to castle. The third one is the king should not have been moved yet. As soon as you are moving your king, you are actually losing the opportunity to castle the king. So there are basically 3 rules. The first one being the king should not be under attack. The second one is the squares in the side you are willing to castle in between king and rook should not be under attack. And third one is the king should be intact. It should not have been moved in any previous move. Okay. So these are the 3 rules. So suppose you are willing to castle queenside, the d1, c1 and b1 squares should be out of threat. Now, the rook on either side, or the side you are willing to castle, can be under attack. So suppose we are taking one example. At this position, we can see the rook on h1 square is under attack by the bishop. But also at this position, the king can choose to castle. The white can choose to castle. Okay, there is no problem. But if we consider this situation, the bishop is attacking the f1 square. At this position, it is not possible for white to castle. Okay, so this is the basic thing. This is the basic idea of castling. Now let us understand what is the purpose of castling. Okay, so there are basically 2 purposes. The first one being you can protect your king and bring it to the safety. Okay, so as soon as you perform the castle, the king is coming to the g1 square. There are 3 pawns in front of the king, which are kind of creating a wall. So the king is very much safe at this point. In a single move, you're actually bringing your king to the safety. And the second purpose is, till now your king was your rook was not activated. Okay, it was lazy, and through a single move you are now able to activate your rook. The rook can now come to the e1 or d1 square and be activated and be in the game. Okay, through a single move. So we can ask that if we castle queenside, is it that much protection provided to the king? Okay, there is also the a2 pawn is hanging. Yes, there is. So there are 2 things that, there are basically 2 different things that you should notice in case of a kingside and queenside castle. Okay, in case of a queenside castle, this a2 pawn is hanging. So you have to spend another move maybe in order to protect this. say black plays something like this, so you have to defend the a2 pawn by playing, say, a3 or king to b1, right? But at the same time, you can notice that the rook has been activated instantaneously. You do not need to spend another move in order to activate this rook. Whereas in case of a kingside castle, you have to spend another move in order to properly activate the rook, right? So previously it was not, it was blocked by the f2 pawn. Now you have to spend another move in order to activate the rook. Okay, so you can also say at this position black cannot castle in any side because king is under attack. So this is all for this video. I hope you have liked it. If you did, then please give it a like, share it with your friends and relatives. In case you have any question or suggestion, you can write it down on the comment section. I'll be looking forward to it. See you next time.